Two men walk into a bank in Taipei. No weapons, no threats, just masks and fishing hats. One guards a door. The other stands calmly by the ATM. Then, without swiping a card or pressing a button, the machine begins to spew out stacks of cash. It's not magic. It's not a glitch. It's the final move in a cyber operation that would rob over $1 billion from banks across 30 countries. This is the rise and near fall of Carbanak. July 10th, 2016. As the two men scoop cash from the ATM across Taipei, 20 others are doing the exact same thing at the same time, each at a different bank, each collecting money as if the machines had gone rogue. But it wasn't random. This was a synchronized digital heist years in the making. The ATM attack in Taipei was just one part of a puzzle that would expose the Carbanak cyber gang, led by a genius no one could find. It all started with a simple email. April 8th, 2014. A Ukrainian bank employee named Maxim gets a message. It looks legitimate, sent from a co-worker with a Word doc titled Compliance with Federal Law. Maxim clicks, reads, closes it. He doesn't realize he's just opened a backdoor into his bank's entire system. For months, the attackers would lurk silently in the background, watching. Soon, strange things start happening. ATMs dispensing money randomly, funds disappearing, balances being altered. The bank brings in Kaspersky, a top-tier cybersecurity firm. Analyst Thunder begins the search. They scan the ATMs, no malware, no clues, nothing, until a separate Russian bank sounds the alarm. Their domain controller is sending encrypted data to China. That's when the Real story begins. Inside the Russian bank, Kaspersky experts plan a message in a Word doc. Hello. A few minutes pass. Then the cursor moves. A response appears. You will not catch us. This wasn't just malware. This was a living, watching hacker inside the system. Kaspersky digs deeper and finally identifies the malware. A hybrid Trojan with features unlike anything seen before. They call it Carbanak. Here's how Carbanak pulled off the world's most complex digital heist. Spear phishing. Employees receive legitimate-looking emails. Backdoor malware. Once opened, it installs a keylogger. Admin access. The malware waits for an IT admin to type credentials. Lateral movement. Once inside, the hackers map the entire banking network. Surveillance. They watch how transactions are managed, sometimes for months. Strike. And when ready, they launch. The Carbanak group perfected 3 ways to steal. Silent transfers. They manipulate transaction accounts, increasing balances before siphoning funds, leaving totals unchanged to avoid suspicion. ATM cash outs. They remotely command ATMs to eject bills at a preset time. On location, low-level money mules collect the cash. Database editing. They edit bank records directly. $3.33 becomes $1 million. The fake millionaire uses a debit card and walks away with real money. Carbanak spread like wildfire. Over 100 financial institutions attacked. Operations in 30-plus countries. Total estimated theft, $1 billion. And yet no trace. Until Taipei. In July 2016, Carbanak targets first bank in Taiwan. ATMs at 20 branches begin ejecting bills. But this time, police move fast. 500 officers are mobilized. CCTV is pulled. Faces identified. 22 money mules, mostly Russian and Eastern European. Only 3 remain in the country. One hides cash in sports bags at a city park, only to have a local man mistake it for a miracle and take it home. Another hides 2 suitcases at a train station, but police track them to a hotel. The bust is cinematic. Police enter mid-brunch. 2 men, 2 suitcases. Inside, $1.5 million in local currency. The 3 arrested mules lead authorities to something more valuable than money. Photos, emails, and digital breadcrumbs. Among them, direct contact with the Carbanak leader. The global hunt begins. March 6, 2018. Alicante, Spain. A man named Dennis K. lives quietly with his wife and child. He rarely goes out. He spends Bitcoin. A lot of it. At the time, he's worth over 15,000 BTC. Over $160 million in 2018. and worth billions today. He pays cash for luxury items, BMWs, watches, houses. That leaves a trail. Spanish police raid the home. His laptop is still on. Inside, malware code, crypto wallets, evidence linking him to Carbanak. Dennis is arrested. Authorities seize cars, jewelry, and digital assets. But the majority of the $1 billion is still missing. Later that year, 3 more Ukrainians are arrested. The operation used aliases: Carbanak, Cobalt Spider, Joker Stash, linked to Russian-speaking syndicates. Some experts believe the group operated with quiet approval from hostile governments. The shocking part? The entire attack started with an old Microsoft Word exploit, patched 3 years earlier. Maxim just never updated. Dennis K. may have been the figurehead, but the Carbanak operation was far larger than one man. Forensic teams found code fragments, bits of malware, that were later traced to other cybercriminal groups. Groups like Cobalt Spider, Joker Stash, and FIN7, names whispered in cybersecurity circles as modern digital cartels. These weren't casual hackers. They operated like businesses, project managers, coders, money launderers, mules, and likely insiders. Some experts believe Carbanak wasn't just tolerated. It may have been protected, state-backed, or state-ignored. Because when chaos hits rival economies, some governments look the other way. And it worked. Even after Dennis K's arrest, the same malware code, repackaged, renamed, continued to infect banks across the world. In the end, it wasn't a zero-day vulnerability. It wasn't some AI-powered breach. It was a Word document sent in a phishing email to an employee who skipped his Windows updates. The same kind of email you or your coworker probably get every week. The damage? Over $1 billion lost. Dozens of financial institutions shaken. Millions of customer accounts potentially exposed. And an unknown number of cybercriminals still walking free. Banks, despite their vaults and cameras, had no idea the real robbers were already inside, quietly watching every move. Carbanak didn't just steal money. They changed the playbook. They didn't attack weaknesses in tech. They exploited weaknesses in behavior. They didn't move fast. They studied, listened, and waited, and they didn't need to leave the house. Their keyboard was the weapon, their screen the scope. Since then, the financial world has spent billions upgrading security. AI now monitors behavior. Banks simulate attacks internally. But the question remains, is it enough? Because if Carbanak taught us anything, it's that the most dangerous hackers are the ones who don't rush. They wait, and when they strike, you don't even know you've been robbed. This was the true story of Carbanak, the billion-dollar hack that almost no one saw coming. No guns, no alarms, no getaway cars, just code, patience, and the perfect storm of complacency. And in the end, a global manhunt couldn't find most of the team. Because you can arrest a person, but you can't arrest a piece of code. If you found this story mind-blowing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more digital heist breakdowns and high-stakes cybercrime stories. This is Fresh Crime Chronicles, where the biggest crimes don't always make the loudest noise.